Hi everybody! Today we're going to paint the magnolia flowers, those great big beautiful white and pink flowers that are in the trees. And these are very simple. Really, it's really just the shape, color, texture, right? So the shape, I've already drawn them for us, right? And we're just going to color them. The color is the pink and the white, and trying to make it, we make the petal white, then we put pink on it and drag in little stripes. So you'll see I stripe the pink into the wet white, and where is it most pink? And then as I go uphill, it kind of runs out. Then the next stripe will be less white, or less pink, less pink, right? And then we do not scrub it in. We give it permission to make stripes. See, look at these ones are even better. Where I let it be very dark pink, not very pink, running out of pink, white, just like that. And then these ones are green, blob of green, with a blob of yellow floating on top. And when we do the leaf, and we don't want to see the silver Sharpie that I put on there, so we paint over that, right? And then we use our stick actually to scratch these lines on there, so it's sopping wet with green and yellow. And then we scratch a line down the middle, and then we make the little V's up the front, right? So I go V, 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 like that. Okay, so we're gonna do the flowers first, and we're gonna use this number 4, and she's a round, which means if I smash her, she's round at the top. Okay, but really, I think I outline it using the tip of the paintbrush, but I tend to hold it like a magic wand and not like a pencil. I hold like a pencil when I outline, right? But then I hold it on the side and peanut butter it on like this. It's just smoother, and this is, you can feel how smooth that is. It's way smoother than this tip, right? So it's smooth. So I kind of hold, or if I hold like a pencil, I totally tilt my wrist and try to help the side of the paintbrush touch. But if I put too much pressure on it, I will scratch the paint off. And you can see where I did that. I pushed too hard and the black showed through. But it doesn't really, you know, it just adds a little chateau. But if I catch myself doing it too often, if I go back over it very gently, I can push the paint back on the hole that I made with the tip of my paintbrush, or pushing too hard. Okay, so you guys ready? Okay, so let's just do the big one. It's very easy to learn on the big one because it's nice and big, and there's one, and this one must be behind. See how she sneaks up from behind that one? So we'll do the behind one first. Let's do all the behind ones first. That's so smart. You know why? Because if we do the behind ones first, then the petals that come in front will cover them up a little. So we can learn on the ones that aren't going to be stared at. Because the front one, you know what I mean? So we'll do like this middle one. See how these two petals must be in front, because that one must be in front. So let's do this one and this one. Then we'll do that one, and she's definitely in front. That one's in front. That one's in front. That one's behind. Okay, so we'll do the, and then we'll learn how to do the pink on it. And as soon as you do, like, one will have to be ugly, right? Because our brain has to be confused and frustrated. You get kind of mad, and then you go, oh, I think I understand it, and then then it's easy and boring, right? So this will be the flower, and it'll be like, what? Then when we go to do all these other the flowers, you'll be like, easy, boring, right? So let's just do the big one. So we're gonna need the white paint and the hot pink paint. She's called magenta. She's closest to purple. She's purple and red, so she has lots of purple in her. So she's real pretty. But I'm gonna paint the petal. I'm thinking of this one because she looks like she's behind the other two. They look like they're in front. So I'm gonna do this one first. But I need to outline it to make sure so that there's no, silver Sharpie. And once you do a good outline, your brain will not go outside the lines, usually, unless you scribble. because your brain is like protecting its lines. It's been trained since it was little not to do that. So I'm just gonna, like, my little cups of paint are on this table right here. You can't see it, but I just stab the white paint because I pick up a whole bunch, poke like that. But we're only gonna use one side of the paintbrush, and then when I hold the paintbrush, my paintbrush goes smash and it opens, and then I can see one hair as I don't scribble. That'll make a furry. No, I don't want a furry flower petal, right? So I just go push, and one hair will make a nice, thick, smooth bead of paint and covers up the silver Sharpie. Okay, let me show you up close. So the whole petal is white, so I'm inside the white petal the whole time, and I just go, I land on the petal, right? Smash. But then I'm going to sneak up. Whoa, and that one hair now is touching the silver Sharpie, and I push my paint. And I don't care about blobs. This paint will dry completely. Oh, look how dry. Oh, I should have stopped when it got dry, because you can't. Why scribble? You'd have to try to get more paint. Just get more paint. Poke, and then you go push. Way better when I had more paint on there. It's smoother. So I just poke. I'm gonna put my paint right there. Poke the white paint, and then land on the inside. Smash. Oh, that one lasted good. Okay. Now you do it. And remember, this is, I'm not doing this with a class today. I'm recording it for a class. So I'm not watching anybody. So I'm not pacing myself by watching everybody. So if I go too fast, you just keep your finger on that pause button. Pause, pause, pause. So if I go too fast, you just push the button. Okay, now I'm gonna fill it in because I need it white. So I just stab my white paint. But now I can smash my paintbrush and just go up and down like that, up, down, and just smash. Oh, there it is. Now I can't see the black I put on. I'm definitely using the side of my paintbrush. Smash the flat side of my paintbrush. Look how I'm even holding my paintbrush weird, trying to get the side. Look at watch. Everybody pause and look up. Watch. This is the tip of my paintbrush. She scratches the paint off. I don't know if you can see, but it made a hole. So the side of my paintbrush is smooth, and she could put it back. Put it on there. Okay, now I'm gonna get the pink, and I always, before I get another color, I always just clean my paintbrush. We don't need water. We just use a paper towel, because pink and white can't really hurt each other. So we just go make an ugly color. So we just go pinch, and I just keep this handy for each time. Now I'm gonna get some magenta, and I don't need a lot, so I'm just gonna give it a poke, because it's less white, right, than the pink is. So I just go poke, poke. Okay. And where am I going to drop it off at? I'm going to drop it off at the bottom, like a little puddle. Okay. Because now you do it. It's like but now from this puddle that I dropped off, because I wanted it off my paintbrush, right? Because now I'm going to push it up, and each stripe will run out of white paint. I don't scribble it in. I'm literally trying to push it up, and the white paint's going to eat it up. So I go like this, and I go push. Oh. Push, push, push. Nice. Push. And I made stripes. And when it dries, the pink will get darker and the white will get more see-through. But now that I look at it, I wish I would have used more magenta. But since this is my first one, it's my ugliest one. It's a learning one, right? Let me do it over. Let me scribble it more. No, look, she's a behind one. So I'm like, I'm going to work now. I just go, okay. So next time I want to put more magenta. But I did like how it stayed really thick on the bottom, and it did run out inside of the white and run out. So it was white at the top. That's all true. But let's do another one. How about this one next to it right there? Okay, so I'm going to get a new color. And I don't want this magenta in my white, so just give it a punch like that. And then, see, what is that? It's a pink bunny. I don't know. And then I'm going to get the white, and I just stab the white. Okay. Now I have to outline it. Okay, get ready. But I'm inside petal, and I smash my paintbrush, and then I use that one hair to get rid of the Sharpie, right? So I go smash. Okay, she's inside. But now I'm going to sneak her up. Okay, now she's, okay. And then push. And look how thick bead of paint coming out. Oh, no, it got dry. I don't like it. Stop. Okay. And then I'm going to let this petal go on top of the other petal. Like she's in front a little bit, right? I don't care. She could be in front. So I'm just going to go right on top of the other petal and push this one behind it just because this one's on top. So I just go, oh, she's in front. Whoosh. There, now you do it. Okay, now I can fill it in. Outline. So I stab my white paint and I use the side of my paintbrush. I could use the tip of my paintbrush, but it drops off in little scratches. But I want to smear it on. Up and down. Smear. Oh, side of my paintbrush is buttery. There. Look at this one you were all worried about. Now she's behind. And we're like, who cares about her? Because she's briefly covered up. So good thing we did her first for learning, right? So I clean my paintbrush. I'm going to go get magenta. So who didn't get enough? I didn't get enough magenta. When I did mine, I would like it more so I could push like that more. So I'm going to put more pink because I like the pink out of this whole painting. The white is just like whatever. The pink is like boom, shakalaka, right? So I want lots of pink. So I'm going to get more pink this time. I'm going to stab my pink so I can get a lot. And I'm just going to step. Okay, step. Ooh, it's like a lot. And then I'm not gonna make a little petal at the bottom. I feel like I mixed the white and the pink together, which made a baby pink. I think that was my error. Instead, this time, side of my paintbrush, just land and push straight up. I'm running out and running out and running out and I ran out. And then next row, you want to skip closer. So, okay, now touching that one next to it, push. Oh, I'm running out, I'm running out, I'm running out, I ran out. And then the next one, ooh, and should I scribble? No, I like the neato weirdo stripos I'm getting. Look at that. Look at, and then I gave it permission to have dark places, medium places, and light places. 3D. I still wish I would have had more magenta again. I'm going to do even more next time. You watch. But I'm learning, right? Maybe the sun happens to be hitting those and they're extra, extra white. Let me smooth that one more time. Whoosh. Oh, look what I did with my... See, I went over it and it wasn't enough paint, so it made a rough edge. Fix it. That's what you get for like horsing around, right? Okay, now I clean my paintbrush. So I'm going to go get white. I don't want to ruin my white. So I stab my white. Stab! Okay. Now who's in front? This one. So it's parentheses, right? Backwards C and C. And I just land in the middle. Smash. And I push. And I'm right on top of that other petal. Get out of my way, petal. See? I just pushed out of the way. Now I'm going to stab my white and get more. Bye, Sharpie. I don't want to look at you. Hey, I got enough paint that lasted the whole way. But still, I want it pointier. My fix. Okay, there. I fixed it. Okay, now fill in with the white. Do you remember how we've done it 2 times? So, side of my paintbrush, lots of paint, fill it in. So I stab my white. Smushy, smash, smushy, smash. Okay. Now, who can predict what's going to happen? I did it 2 times. Who wants it more pink? I do. This is my worry face. I always touch my face and I'm like, oh no. I do. So I'm going to clean my paintbrush. Pinch. Okay. I'm going to get more magenta because I want it more bright. So I just stab my pink. Stab! Look, I got a lot. And I'm just going to push it. And I'm going to get the side of my paintbrush, the tip of my paintbrush will, because mostly this is why the tip of the paintbrush, look at, she's just a tiny little speck on the end. she will run out of paint in one stripe. The side of my paintbrush has a lot of paint on the sides. So I paint with the side of my paintbrush. A whole bunch of paint comes off. The tip, that's only a speck, you know? Okay, so I'm going to use the side of my paintbrush. And I just push straight up. Move it. Oh, you're so jealous of me. Look at it. That's a very magenta one. Should I touch it again? No. But I can go next to it. Oh, I touched it again. That's what I couldn't do it. Okay, there, next one, next one, next one. But look at, I got dark pieces, medium pieces, and the last piece was almost no magenta at all. I am so lucky. Dark, medium, light. Should I go back and scribble it in? No. All right then. Okay, that was my best one. Well, how many did I have to do to understand it? Right? I did the first one, second one, third one. Oh, 3 times. Okay, that seems right. That makes sense. Keep kicking my painting down here. Okay, now I'm going to clean my paintbrush. Okay. All right. So that means we're getting better each one we do, right? Okay. So this one definitely looks like she's behind that one. So we have to do this one first. And we don't care about the bottom, right? Because look at who covers up the ugly bottom of this one. The next petal. So, meh. Meh. So I'm going to stab my white. Clean paintbrush though. Stab my white. Stab. Okay. I'm going to land inside. Smash. Bye, Sharpie. Okay. Then I get more paint. Why? Because the thick paint makes a nice smooth edge. Stab. Got it. Okay, now I fill it in. Up, down, up, down, up, down. There. That one was easy because it was little. It was kind of little, I thought. A little bit. And then I'm going to clean my paintbrush. So it's so shiny on my forehead. Clean my paintbrush. It's like looking in the mirror when you're doing a video. Okay, now I'm going to stab my white. Stab. Okay, let's see. I bet this is a lot. This is little, which isn't very much white, but it's still the same amount of big glob of magenta. How much bet this one turns out way darker. So I'm going to go, shoosh, oh. Then the next row next to that one, shoosh. The next one next to that one, shoosh. Look at those good stripes. Way better. Love. I feel like I want to put more magenta on this one. Just near the bottom. There, that's all. Just, I want the bottom needed to be dark. Flick with what the magenta left on my paintbrush. Flick, there. Not the whole length, just that bottom. Yeah. Okay. Besides, it was on my paintbrush. I don't know. I just, a little darker. Flick. Okay, now we have the 2 there in the front. Because look at the ugly bottoms. Ugly already. So, these ones are very smooth, and they're going to cover all that up. So, clean my paintbrush. Pinch. Whenever this gets too dirty, just get another one. Pinch. Like I just got slimed right now. Good thing I'm wearing an apron. Just wipe it off. Stab my white. Okay, this one's in front. Okay, we've done it 4 times. So, outlining makes sense now. Do we scribble? No. We just push our paint and go push, boop. Bye, Sharpie. And look at that nice smooth edge, right? Because there was like a bead of paint that squirts out the side of your paintbrush as you're going and makes it very smooth. Okay, now I'm going to stab my white again. Stab for the bottom. Whoosh. Boop. And we don't care about the inside, right? It's that outside edge. It's the nice thick bead, almost like a bump. Don't care. I don't need to flatten the bump. It'll dry flat. Because acrylic paint is full of water. When the water evaporates. But look how I got to cut off the bottoms of these. Whoosh. Bye, bottoms of those flowers. Now I get to fill it in. Side, not the tip of my paintbrush. Too sharp. Side of my paintbrush and peanut butter it in. Oh! Who wants to use more magenta than we have been? Boom, shakalaka. But we're going to well, let's start at the top magenta, and then, so the first stripe on the top, let's make it closer. The first stripe on the top is the darkest, and then as we go down, next row is less magenta, more white, until I get to the bottom, so that the petal closest to us, this part right here, is, pretend like it's closest to us, is the whitest, okay? So clean my paintbrush. Pinch. And then stab my magenta. Get a lot. Okay, so where's she gonna be darkest? So I'm not gonna push hard. It's like I'm floating on top of the white paint, and it's very magenta. Boom! Oh, I missed it. Here, let me try to go one row closer. Okay, there. It ruins this. Look at it, like it's not as bright. You can't touch it twice, because who's more powerful, white or magenta? White. It just makes baby pink. So now I'm gonna go next to that one. There's paint on the back side of my paintbrush too. I can flip my paintbrush over and go flip. Whoosh. And then I'm running out of magenta. It's just turning white and I don't care. It's almost invisible magenta. Ran out. Nice. Whoosh. Whoosh. How do you feel about that? Look what we know already. We know how to outline. We know how to smooth. We fill it in smooth. And then we give our magenta paint. Do we scribble in the magenta just to make baby pink? No. I make stripes. And then as I'm pushing up, I give my paintbrush permission to run out of magenta paint on purpose. So that way I'll have a dark stripe, usually the first one, because she has the most paint, and then a lighter or a medium, you know, then I run out of magenta completely. It's just white. Exactly. Dark, medium, light. Okay, 3D. Now I'm going to clean my, I don't like this one. It's all dirty. I don't like it. I'm going to get another one. I don't like it when I stick my fingers in it and it slimes me. Even though I'm around paint all the time, it feels weird. Clean my paintbrush good. Last one, and she's in front. So I just stab my white. Stab. And I'm going to go on top of all these other flowers because she's the one in front, right? So I'm going to go, okay, smash, thick paint. Okay. Look, I did that 4 times. I could not get a smooth edge. Should be my last one. Should be my easiest one. Okay, now I'm going to get extra white paint and fill it in. Side of my paintbrush. Smushy, smushy, smushy. Okay, he already knows what's going to happen. I know you do. Because you have proof. You know how to do that right there. And then I wish I could show you 3D, but you can kind of see that I have lumps of paint, and it totally doesn't matter, because when you hold it like that, it just doesn't matter, right? But you can see that it's got lumps and bumps, but they just dry flat, because the air will disappear and just leave the powder, the color powder, and it will just go flat. So don't like, oh no, let me flatten that. You can leave it. It's interesting, it has texture. Okay, now I'm going to stab my magenta. Stab! Using the side of my paintbrush. Now I'm going to go push. Next row, push. Next row, push. Next row, running out, ran out. Dark, medium, light, and interesting stripe texture. Or getting those streaks of color where they stripe each other and they touch but don't mix. So cool. Nice. And then I go back and look at my first one. Good thing she was in the back. Does she have very much? No? Should I fix it? No? It's 3D. Dark, medium, light. Some of them have a lot of magenta. Some of them don't. Whatever. Okay. Now, there's 3 little flowers over here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and there's a baby flower. Let's do the baby flower. Baby. Because she's not open yet. She's sleeping. So, she's right here. Oh, I'll show you. Right, there's the big, and then 2 side petals. Look at this ratty end. Why did I leave it like that? I should have smoothed it. But you didn't even notice, and you didn't even mind. Okay, so I'm going to paint it white. So I have to outline it with white, and I just stab my white, stab. And let me put this paper towel down. Okay, now I'm gonna go. All right, smoosh. Okay, smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. The minute my paint looks dry, I'm gonna get more paint. Okay, I didn't run out of paint. I really thought I was gonna run out of paint. Now you do it. But I guess my edges, my tips are a little dry looking, like the last time. And then what happens after we outline it? Fill it in. Smushy, 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 smushy. Maybe this is how I ruined the top, because I just did it again. I'm just curious about myself. Because every time I paint something, it comes out different, and I always wonder, still me. Well, I don't need as much magenta as I needed for these giant petals, right? So instead of getting a hard stab of magenta, could I get less? And I don't mean a baby amount. I just mean instead of stabbing it like this, maybe I just touch it and just get some, right? Just some. But I didn't stab it really hard. Right? And then I'm gonna do the middle one first, and then the side ones. I'm just gonna pretend, right? So I just go very magenta, less, okay. And then there's a little bit of magenta on the back side, so I'm gonna turn my paintbrush and just decorate that one, And if it doesn't have very much magenta on it, so don't care. How come that makes so much sense now? We did that together. And you're like, oh, that's one. And I didn't scribble it in. I didn't make baby pink. I gave it permission to have stripes. It's probably because we've done all these. Remember how frustrated were you in the beginning, and you're like, what? I don't know what she's saying. And then now you're like, oh, I get it. Look what I did. Okay. Clean my paintbrush. That's the learning curve. Starts off and easy. Oh, look. Okay, so look how this is. I used a stencil and then I had to draw in these lines, but we have to decide who's in front and who's in back. Let's say that these, let me show you on the finished one. That'll make more sense. So if we do these, remember when we did that one and she was far behind? What if we do this one first and this one first, so these ones can be on top, right? And look like they're in front. So if we, however we do these, fine, whatever. And then we cover them up knowing that these other petals are coming on top. Hey, and this one too, I guess these are in the back and these ones are in the front on the sides, okay? So let's see. Because it's not drawn very well, but you guys know how to do it. Just smooth edges with paint, right? So I just get my white paint stab. Okay. This is the middle one. We're going to put her in the back, so it means we do her first. I land inside the black and smash, push. And then I get another stab of white for the other side because I want them smooth. Nice. Okay. I could do both of them at the same time, you know what I worry about? If you put all the white first, then go back and try to magenta them, the white could be dry. And then it'll just paint over the white with magenta and it won't make any new colors. So I don't do that. I have done it in the past and got very disappointed. Okay, so I'm on the side of my paintbrush and fill it in. Smooshy, smashy. Side of my paintbrush like peanut butter, it's smooth. Okay, and I clean my paintbrush. A little pinch. Sometimes I make butterflies, and this one is not making anything too. Okay, now I go stab. How come? This is a big petal. And I got a lot of magenta. And it's just like this one, right? These ones, where I give it permission to make interesting stripes inside the white. So it's going to be, and I'm not going to come close. You know. You already know. Because you have proof you know. Right? So I just push up and I go very magenta. My first stripe's always my darkest. Then next, and I give it permission. Ooh, I meant. Good thing this one's underneath. I should have brought it closer. It's actually very hard to paint this far away into the side. I'm not standing in front of my painting like you are. I'm like way over here. Okay, but I still have those interesting stripes, right? I got the magenta white stripes. I do have some baby pink, but it just happens, whatever. Clean my paintbrush. Now the two in the front. They're more important because they're going to cover up that one in the back. So I stab my white. And I just go, okay. And I'm going to put, it's like a big letter C or backward C right in front of that one. Boom. Like this. Watch. I'm just going to go, boom. You're in front. I just drew it. You're in front. And then this one, oh. I didn't stop and get more paint. More paint. Okay. There. Okay. Now I'm going to, hey, I'm going to smear around some magenta. Here are pink flowers. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Noise. Okay, then I clean my paintbrush. Get magenta. Stab. Who already knows what to do? You don't need me. You just start painting. You just fast forward. Just paint these flowers and then cut and fast forward up to showing you how to do stems. You don't need me. You have proof. Okay, now I'm going to go, I'll still do it. I'm still going to do it on the video. But if you don't need me, you just go and decorate by yourself. Oh, wait, I'm making baby pink. But I still got cool stripes. Okay, cool stripes. Okay, now I clean my paintbrush. Why is my flowers drying so much darker than they were? Because white paint has got a lot of white gel, like Elmer's glue that it floats in, that turns clear. Like Elmer's glue, right? So I'm like, oh, the pink got darker. Well, actually, the white's just disappearing. So I stab the white paint. Now I'm going to, oh, I ruined that one, right? But good thing this petal goes in front. But this time I'm going to stop and get white paint for both sides. So I push, she's in front, goodbye. And then I get more white paint. For the other side. There, both sides are smooth that time. Did it right. And then I fill it in, side of my paintbrush. There. I feel like I put the white on, right? Then I go back and smooth it softer the second pass. I don't know if you felt yourself do that. I still have stripes, but I feel like because I don't want the black to show it, I go back over 1 second pass for smoothness. Then I stab the magenta. I'm going to push up from the bottom because I want it very magenta, then not very magenta, and running out of magenta and disappearing and disappearing and disappearing, and white. Ooh, boom. Ah, look how I'm not going to touch that magenta. It's very dark. How pretty. Yay. Okay. Now this one. So who's first? The one in the middle. So these other guys could be on top. Right? Just clean my paintbrush. Get the white. And I go, alright, then this middle one has to be first. So who needs help outlining anymore? Oh, more paint. I do the second line. Whew. Okay, and then I fill it in. How come it's going so much faster? Because we already know how. Remember what I said was going to happen? Frustrated and confused. I think I understand it. And then easy. Are you easy already? What a good brain you have. So I clean my paintbrush. I stab the white. Magenta, I meant to say. And then I touch the bottom and I push up. This is awkward for me because I'm literally, like, look at me. I'm a little awkward. But I go push up, magenta, not very magenta, running out of magenta. Oh, if I touch it twice, it just turns pink. Ugh. Okay, there. I'm floating a magenta on top. Okay. Now I can clean my paintbrush. And do another petal, but she's going to be in front of this one. She says, get out of my way. So I just go, boom, she's in front. And then more paint for the bottom row. Then fill it in. Ooh, it's more pink because I touched the pink from the other petal. Totally doesn't matter. And clean my paintbrush. I think I'm ready for a new napkin. I don't like it when they get all... Okay, now I'm going to stab the magenta, and I'm not going to touch it twice. I'm just going to go whoosh. Oh! Look at how magenta-y that one is. And then swoops. Oh! Swoop. Oh! Oh! How different that one came out. That is so bright. I'm stunned. You know, I get white for the other one, and she's in front. I don't know how yours are turning out. Are you having fun? Now I just, this one's in front, so bye, right? And bye, Sharpie. Oh, I missed. Awkward over here. And then fill it in. Smushy smash. Clean my paintbrush. Okay, I'm impressed by that. I did that magenta so smooth last time. I don't even know how I did it. I like it though. Okay, let me try again. Side of my paintbrush. Very magenta. Not very magenta. Running out of magenta. Running out. No, go backsies. And I ran out. Nice. Look how much more white this one was. And then, oops, I touched it and it's wet. And then this one's way more magenta-y. I don't know. I like it though. Okay. And then last flower. Okay, these two, look at who's definitely in the back, right? This one's definitely in the back. And then maybe this one, and these two can be in the front. Whatever. Oh, and that's a leaf. It's a green leaf. Okay? So I'm going to stab the white. Stab. I'm going to do this one first. I didn't stop and get paint that time, but it looks like a smaller petal to me. So I made a guess that I wouldn't have to stop and get more paint. And then I clean my paintbrush. And then since it's so much smaller, less magenta maybe? Maybe not as hard of a stab. Poke instead. And I just use the side of my paintbrush. I go flick, flick, up, like a little flame. Whoosh. That was easier for me because I did all of the other one. Okay. Okay, so who thinks these are coming out better than this one? If you wanted to, could you redo this flower after this is all dry? Could you redo this one? Because if it's dry, you're just painting over it. You'd have to paint over it white, then add the magenta. Could you do it 2 times? How come? Because it's your painting. But you have to decide before we do the green leaves. Because you don't want any green in your paintbrush when you do this. Does that make sense? Because I wouldn't want you to get green and pink mixed together. It's brown. Because they're on the opposite side of the color wheel. So you can't have any green in your paintbrush. Okay, now I'm going to do this another petal. And she must be in front of this one. What if it touches the other flower? This means she's in front. And then I smush it in with white paint. Okay, and then push this one far away. So, even though it came out good for me, she's in the back. Clean my paintbrush. Poke! Instead of a stab, so I just have a little bit less. And I go straight up, very magenta, not very magenta. Up, 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 flame. I like that one. Want to see up close? Look at it. I just did this one. Very magenta, not very magenta. Ran out, ran out, ran out. Okay, now I get the white. Okay, it's a terrible drawing. Look at that bump I did when I was outlining it with my stencil. That's okay, because you're going to fix it with paint. Go straight up. Pull. A little bit of a waggly line. But I don't care, because I'm human. And humans can't make straight lines. It's my parents' fault, because they were humans. And humans use a ruler when we want a straight line. So it's straight-ish. We clean our paintbrush, pinch, and then get magenta. And then we just go straight up, whoosh, up, 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 ran out. Neat! Look at that lump of magenta. I'm just gonna let it sit there. That's gonna dry so dark. Okay, now I want the other flower on top, the other petal. One, two. Okay, but remember that one's a leaf. Oh no. Get my magenta step. Very magenta, not very magenta, running out of magenta, and then all gone. Who feels good about theirs? Me too. Now we have to learn how to do leaves, but they're basically exactly the same. But you know who green is really dark, and you know who hates to be touched is yellow. So you float the yellow on top of the green, just like you did with the magenta. But if you go back and touch yellow twice, it just becomes green. She disappears. The green eats it up. It's so frustrating. I'll show you. Like these all have the exact same amount of yellow on them, a glob. Like I just went and floated it right on top of the green, right? And it makes this cool green and green and yellow stripey thing. You know, like we did with the magenta. It's the same texture trick, right? But if I went back and touched it again, green ate it. Like, what? I know. So let's try the stem, and we don't want to see the Sharpie. So you think, oh no, I'm going to make the stem too thick. No, you won't. So I'm going to put the lid on my white, because I'm done with her. Look how much white you have left over. You can paint things with it. And then the pink, but it won't last very long, like a couple weeks. It will dry out, because these aren't airtight, so the air will still escape and they'll dry out. Okay, so I get my green. And let's treat the lines just like we treated the lines of the flower. Okay, where all we're trying to do is get rid of the Sharpie. Don't try to paint a stem. And look how long this stem is. How many pokes of paint are you going to need to get? I'm guessing 4. It'll probably only make like this much of green, and then you have to get more and run out. Well, look. You mean literally the same amount of a petal side, right? So you're like, oh, petal, 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 petal. That's how many times I have to stop. So I clean my paintbrush and I stab the green, right? And I don't care because I just want that outside, but I land in the stem and I go smash, and I just want to get one side. I don't care about the other side. I'm not going to even look at it. I just want to ride my push. Hey, I ran it. I got far. Okay, so I poke my green again. As soon as I run out, I just get more. And land in the middle and just get rid of that top Sharpie. It's a little bit waggly. How come? Because I have a human blood and bones and stuff, so I'm not perfectly straight. Now I go back and I try to do the bottom one. I don't try to do both at the same time. Totally impossible, and you can't concentrate on both sides. I just want to get rid of the Sharpie. And look how the Sharpie peeks through and helps add like a little highlight. I know, right? Well, it's greenish, but that green is totally see-through. I can see the black right through it. I know you can't see right there, but if I bring it up close, look at the black. Look at. If it wasn't for the silver Sharpie, it would just be invisible. So now I'm going to put yellow on it, clean my paintbrush, but I do the yellow super, super soft, because if I crush the yellow into the green, it just becomes green. Want to see? I'll show you. So I stab my yellow, stab, right? But I'm going to shimmy, and I only put it down her belly, down the middle. I don't care about the top and the bottom because the Sharpie's helping me. You know, but I go down the middle, how soft. as soft as humanly possible. Like I'm just barely touching it. And I just go, wait. Look how it like mixes but doesn't, but mixes but doesn't, but smear and done. And it's, oh, I just wiped it off. I basically wiped it off, and I give it permission to make dark pieces. Oops, I touched it twice. I killed the yellow. I told ya. So let the yellow just smear, a little smear on top, and however it comes out, because we like it. Oh, I don't care. And it's for the middle of the stem. The sides will be fine. They're green. I want a new napkin. This one's new. Okay, now a leaf. Oh, I got another stem. Want to do another stem real quick? I forgot. Okay, and she's only one stem thick. Because she's not holding up a whole giant flower. She's just holding up some leaves. So she's just one little string of green. So I stab my green. And I just try and just say, goodbye, Sharpie. Oh, I missed. Oh, I'm touching my flower. Okay, my paintbrush. How much yellow do you think she needs? Just some. A poke. I just wipe it off. Oh my gosh, totally not straight. How come? Because I'm human born. I can't make straight lines. So, and this was made by a human. She should have some human wiggles. Okay. Now let's try this. Oh, I'm going too fast. That was too fast. I forget because I'm not watching you guys. I forget. Okay. So now my leaves are just like making a petal. Except for I use my stick to scratch these lines. And why do I scratch them? Because it'll make the black show through. I scratched the paint bag off, and it looks like I put black on it, and I didn't, because black will just make a mess. So each one I have to do the green, then the yellow, then scratch. The green, then the yellow, then scratch. Because if I do all the greens and all the yellows, it'll just dry, and it won't scratch off. Okay? So I'm saying this one's my first one. Doesn't matter. So I stab my green. And it's just like a petal. I land inside, say goodbye, Sharpie. Goodbye. The hardest part is putting that yellow on without ruining it. Bye, Sharpie. And then get more green and paint it up and down. Side of my paintbrush. Blah, 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 blah. It looks green, but when it dries, it's black. So it needs yellow's help. Okay, so I clean my paintbrush pinch. Now, how do you use the tip of your paintbrush to put the yellow on? No, she will just go scratch. So I use the side of my paintbrush and I go flip, flip, flip. Right? So I stab my yellow. And one side's going to be way more yellow than the rest. Because I'm going to go very yellow. Not very yellow. Running out of yellow. Disappearing yellow. All done. Oh. Hey, it's just like the pink. Should I go and touch it more? Yellow will die. Okay, now I can use my stick. Watch. I'm going to scratch it straight down the middle. Then I put V's. V, 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 V. And the bottom of the V touches the line. Who thought that was easy? Good job. Well, now you have to know how to do this whole painting now. I swear. Because now what do we do? Leaf, a 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 leaf. So, did we go from frustrated to confusing to understanding to easy? These leaves are going to be so easy, except for blob on that yellow. Let yellow live. You want to see? Which is my prettiest leaves. Look. The only ones that stand out have lots of yellow. Like this one, she didn't have like no yellow on her. She's like boring. Don't even look at her. Right? So, yellow! And just softly, just so ever so softly on top. Okay. So, on your mark, get set. Get the green. Okay. Goodbye, Sharpie. Whee! Whee! And I get more green and fill it in. Wiggly, 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 wiggly. Oh, I'm scratching it off. I'm not doing it soft enough. I have to peanut butter it on. Oh, more green. Oh, I was using the tip of my paintbrush. I could tell right away. You forget about paint until you see what it's doing, and then you instantly adjust, right? And then you stab your yellow, so it's a lot. It'll be very shimmer shiny. And I'm going to go as soft as I can. I'm just going to float on top of this green paint. I'm really coaching myself right now. Come on, do it. So I get very yellow. Oh, not very, so soft. So soft. Yay. I could barely feel myself do that. I was doing it so soft. And not with the tip of my paintbrush. She's scratchy. So I was going, using the side of my paintbrush. Like, and now I can use my stick and scratch it. Just put the line down the middle, scratch, and then V, 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 V. Nice. Okay. You can just, oh, look at a stem. Did you see that one and I didn't see it? You couldn't tell me because you weren't here. Okay, we could do it. It's a green little string with some yellow on it. We can do it. So we get some green. Little green worm. Just go, whoa, bye Sharpie. And clean my paintbrush off to go visit yellow, yellow. And then as soft as I can, smear the yellow on top and then stop. Okay, did it. Now I can make a leaf. Green Sharpie, green Sharpie. But then how do I fill it in? With the tip of my paintbrush? Side of my paintbrush and kind of smooth, 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 soft, soft, soft. There. Otherwise you wipe the green paint. You get it green and then you wipe it back off. Okay, pinch. Now stab my yellow. So I can get it off. And she's going to do it super soft. Side of my paint. Look how awkward I'm holding my paintbrush. Trying to get it to this side of my paintbrush. Very yellow. Not very yellow. Running out of yellow. Oh, the other side of my paintbrush has yellow. Let me turn my paintbrush over. Because I'm going to run out. Okay, I did it. Okay. And I put the scratches. Scratch. V, 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 V. I'm beating you, huh? Okay, now I can do this leaf. And then more green. Filled in with the side of my paintbrush. Super soft. Oh, okay, and clean my paintbrush off. And I get a stab of yellow. So I can go very yellow. I feel like I'm using the, it's very tricky at the bottom because I can't, it's hard to tilt my paintbrush. Protest. It's hard. Now use the stick. Scratch. Okay. There's one right there. Did anyone make that one part of your feather? Or your flower? It won't hurt nothing if you did. Who would know? Nobody would know. But I'm gonna paint mine green. Man, I'm putting on way too thin. I'm just like wiping it back off. I could be way softer. This is the weirdest green paint. It depends on the company if what kind of gel they use before they put the powder in. The green powder. Oh my gosh, she's so see-through. I have to do it so soft. And then clean my paintbrush and stab my yellow. Super yellow. Uh-oh. Oh, my paintbrush weird. I can't get my hand to be flat. Swoop, swoop, swoop. Okay, good enough. Tricky. Scratch, scratch. V, 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 V. Okay, I have 5 more. I get my green and go swoosh, swoosh. Maybe I'll do 2 at a time. I think I could trust the paint not to dry now. Now that I understand it, because it goes faster as you understand it, right? I'll do 2 leaves. And then more paint. and fill it in, peanut butter on, real lumpy. I don't care, because she's more green, the thicker the paint and the smoother. Okay, clean my paintbrush. I'm doing 2 at a time. And I stab my yellow. Super yellow. Okay, and then less, ran out. Who finds it still hard to do the side of your paintbrush? I do. I still end up tilting and using the tip. And I'm trying to be flat, and then I tilt. Super yellow. I got more yellow for this leaf. So she's just as bright. Or she'll be jealous. There. Now I could scratch both of them at the same time. Scratch line, scratch line. Baby, 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 baby. 3 more. Oh, there's big, medium, little. Then Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear leaves. Okay, so just go wee. I don't know. Can I just keep complaining about this see-through green? I just have to put on very, very softly so it lives. Now I'm going to do all 3 at the same time. First I do all my outlines, and then I fill it in softly. But they all get their own yellows, right? Yellow would not make it for 3 leaves. Side of my paintbrush, peanut butter on the green, nice and thick. Okay, clean my paintbrush, pinch, and now I get to get the yellow. Stop! And I'm very yellow. Ooh, not very yellow. Running out of yellow. Almost gone. Disappears. Then clean my paintbrush. Stab the yellow. I'm gonna save the little one for last. I missed because I'm so far away. I'm gonna get over here. Very yellow. Not very yellow. Very yellow. All gone. Okay. Poor little leaf. See, and now I'm touching it and I'm making yellow disappear. Okay, now a little tiny bit of yellow for the baby one. There. And I can scratch it. Down the middle. Little baby one. And then V. Oh, it's also like an arrow. Good job. Did you go faster than me or slower than me? I didn't get to do it with you, but we did it together anyway. Good job, you guys. Do you like how it came out? Look at how much different your flowers are than mine, but let's check for 3D. Did you get dark areas, medium areas, and light areas? Yep. And how's your texture? Smooth and long. Yep. Good job. Nice job, everybody.